The rise of all elite wrestling's Hook is really astonishing. The guy was over before he even made his in-ring debut. Hook seems to have come out of nowhere, like an RKO, but we did some digging and found some very interesting things about him. Number 10. His real-life personality and friends. To say that Hook is a man of few words would be an understatement. I think this behavior fits his on-screen character perfectly, but what about the real-life Tyler Senersha, which by the way is his real name? Well, according to Anthony Bowens, he's exactly the same, and I quote, "Hook is a very proud member of the lads outside of the ring, which is myself, Hook, Dante and Darius Martin, also known as Top Flight. So I know Mr. Hook very very well, and I still think he's one of the most mysterious people I've ever met in my entire life. He doesn't even talk to us. He just sits in the corner of the hotel room and eats his chips. He kind of peers out the side of his eye, through his hood that he wears the entire time, and you just kind of wonder what goes on in his head. And then occasionally, he'll take a picture with us." Unquote. Of course, Bowens was being funny here, but is there any truth to this statement? Is Tyler exactly the same as Hook, or is he an entirely different person and they're simply trying to keep kayfabe alive? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and let's jump into Number 9. Hook in Real Life Part 2. Hook might be a very focused guy inside the ropes, but this doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to have fun. Aside from eating chips, Hook apparently enjoys going to the club, a certain type of club, and getting the VIP treatment. He was spotted in the same room as NFL player Antonio Brown, with a dancer literally twerking on his face. What's hilarious is that even then, he didn't break character and he just placed some dollar bills on the dancer while keeping his poker face. This man is the epitome of coolness. Number 8. Does he really eat chips? It seems like every time we see Hook backstage he's always eating chips. But he can't be doing that in real life too, not while maintaining that body. Well, here's what he had to say in a GQ interview and I quote, "For the most part, I eat what I want when I want. But, I do that applying the knowledge I have from all the years of being an athlete and keeping my body in tune. It's not like I'm just eating McDonald's every meal. I just kind of listen to my body and eat when my body says I'm hungry. I have a fast metabolism. It's very difficult for me to put weight on. So I'll eat meals late at night. Lately, I've been having calorie-dense meals late at night to try to get more weight on. Tons of steak and rice late at night." Unquote. I don't know about you, but this is very disappointing news to me. I thought I could look like Hook simply by eating chips. Anyway, let's jump into Number 7. Does he even speak? How did Hook said the aforementioned about his diet? He never speaks after all, so maybe he wrote it down. Well, Hook has actually broken his silence on television too, and the credit goes to Danhausen. The very nice, very evil wrestler managed to get under Hook's skin, to the point that he had to talk. He said, "You wanted my attention, you got it now." Honestly, it was great storytelling, but they should be careful with it. In my opinion, Hook should speak very rarely, so that the impact of his words is greater. So far, they've done a great job with his character on TV and on YouTube. Hook keeps his online appearances to a minimum, and when he appears, he doesn't talk. That's an integral ingredient of making people like Jon Moxley, Darby Allin and Hook so cool. Avoiding overexposure. Stay tuned, because we found a rare clip where Hook talks a bit more. Number 6. His lacrosse days in high school and university. Tyler used to play lacrosse in high school and later in university. And he was pretty good at it. He played for Plainage High School, garnering All-State honors and was also ranked 74th by Inside Lacrosse. In 2018, Tyler served as a long-stick midfielder for the Bucknell Bison men's lacrosse team, and was later transferred to the Sacred Heart Pioneers. Here's a rare clip of him actually talking.
That kind of add to that tradition.
Just love to fit right in. Alex Spring, a great player a few years ago, and Matt Gilray, he's hopefully I can follow in his footsteps too as well. Just plenty of guys. Just always great pulls at Bucknell.
Despite his talent in lacrosse, Tyler had an itch for pro wrestling, so his lacrosse career ended prematurely, and to be fair, his transition really paid off. But, how did he become so good at wrestling in such a short period of time? Number 5. His professional wrestling trainers and partners. Everyone needs a good trainer in order to make it to this business, and Hook had some of the best. He was initially trained under Pat Buck and Brian Myers, formerly known as Curt Hawkins in WWE. Their school is called Create Pro and they have also trained MJF, Max Caster and Chris Statlander. One of Hook's fellow trainees was Arnold Anderson's son, Brock. QT Marshall also played a role in Hook's in-ring development, but training alone can't be the reason he's so good. There must be something else too. Number 4. Pro wrestling is in his DNA. Most of you already know this, but it's still worth mentioning. Hook's father is Taz. What you might not know is that when Hook came into this world, his dad was the ECW champion. And for the youngsters watching, I don't mean the rebooted WWE version of ECW, I mean the original one. Good times. Number 3. Pro wrestling isn't his only talent. We already mentioned that Hook was a very good lacrosse player, but his talents don't stop there. He's also a photographer and he even has his own site where he showcases his work. TylerSenershow.xyz. His photos are very similar to his style. They're mostly urban, and the clothing of the people is very similar to his own. Hook has stated that he wants to become the All-Elite Wrestling World Champion one day, but he also wants to do something artistic, like acting or modeling. Well, I think he can achieve anything he puts his mind into. Number 2. How did this all start? Hook became a viral meme before he even wrestled, but how? Who was the one that started the Send Hook chants? It was actually CM Punk, who challenged any member of Team Taz to come out and face him, and uttered the 2 famous words that accompany Hook to this day. Hook became organically over with the crowd, and this was further proven with his merch sales. His white t-shirt did great, and even dethroned CM Punk's merch for a little while. Punk should have thought about it more before saying Send Hook, he literally created a monster. Number 1. His being the elite appearances. As we already mentioned, Hook keeps his appearances to a minimum, but when he appears, he's always entertaining in his own unique way. Let's see some of his best BTE moments.
On! Right here. There's where the Lord
I wasn't even told about this.
Good.
This is ridiculous. Sorry, what is going? What is? I see what's
They're
happening.
chips.
I see what I see.
Don't worry about
Good, Jeff.
Yeah.
Do not do this, Jeff.
Hey, no more.
Jeff.
I'm going for the defense. Come on! Get out of here! Get out of here, Mark! You better go, Mark! Get out of here!
Hey, are you happy now? He's on the show again. Hey, Nakazawa-san.
Yes.
Ohayou
Domo arigato.
Yeah, I think this is very important. Hey, Siri, in this section, what should... Hey, Siri? Siri, where are you? Hey.
Hello, Hook. I'm glad I ran into you because I need to send you to the payroll department. We got to get you set up for a direct deposit. Come on, I'll introduce you to Chad. Let's go.